we will pick up inside of Dougan's Hall. That evening, having come in and brought the fresh wolf meat in for a feast. Um, Everybody is in celebration. Edgra offers Faint a plate of fresh knucklehead trout, your reward for slaying the wolves from the town of Dougan's Hole. Um,
Just say as well, sorry, did we keep the meat for ourselves, or did we say we'd give it to the townspeople so they can stop being so fucking weird?
that is assuming that you guys are feeding them with a feast. If you guys are carrying around 400 pounds of wolf meat, you're going to need to accomplish something with downtime.
Yeah, I think her offering Faint the knucklehead trout. I think that's a metaphor, Josh, that you didn't pick up on.
No, that was indeed the bargain that you struck, because at some point she was going to feed you all, and you made the statement, and she agreed on it that it would be a single plate, a single meal for a single person, and that would be what you guys would take in recompense for slaying the wolves.
Noted. A face full of trout for Faint. Got it.
Lucky boy.
So at some point while you all are in the main hall, kind of that public space in Dougan's Hall, there is going to be a woman, a familiar face. It's the same person who greeted you all, and by greeted I mean opened the door and was pretty short with you all when you started to accuse her of mistreating her children slash not watching over them. She's going to approach you all and ask, Silja, Finn, were they? Did you find them? Were they lost?
These people that went missing because of the wolves.
My children, yes, they've been missing 2 days now.
Yeah, no, we just killed the wolves out on the ice. There was no sign of anyone. Sorry.
Perhaps there is still some hope, mademoiselle. We intend to pursue it further and venture to the belly of the beast. There is still hope. Do not give up yet.
Do you know where they live? Where to follow their path?
We are still working out the details, but have some inclinations. Perhaps in time.
We don't deserve your kindness. Thank you. Best of luck to you. Please save my children.
Do not give up hope. We will look for them and do our best to bring them back safely. I have a good feeling about this.
So the rest of the evening goes pretty seamless. You all can enjoy a long rest. And when you wake up on the 9th of Shay, what would you like to do?
Well, Ezekiel, you planning on following this through? Because I'm not quite sure we can take down a frost giant.
I think we owe it to this town to try, no?
Well, I mean, we can try, but pretty sure we'll die.
perhaps it is our destiny, but I would not give up just yet. Perhaps we can reason with the creature.
Suppose we could always run away if it gets hostile. I suppose we've got those horns we can blow again and bail us out.
I don't know a bunch about it, but it does not seem to have the same magical power. I think maybe in time, but not now.
Yeah, like if you strip and kind of look over that shoulder, the tattoos are still like faint and not glowing.
Whose tattoos?
Where the Chwinga touched him, like on his shoulder, I believe it was his right shoulder, there was a glowing mark of the Chwinga on him. Like the silver horn that he has is a magical item that the actual blessing represents. He does not indeed have a silver horn.
He doesn't have a horn?
He does not.
I'm just figuring out what I'm doing with my spells, so just be a sec.
Any thoughts from Faint or from Kansas while Ezekiel is managing spells?
No, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's certain death, but if we want to try it anyway, just to help some inbred kids get back home, then why not?
Don't look down on them just because they're inbred. It's not their fault.
Don't look down on them. I look down on dying.
That's a good point, though.
All right, I'm good. And we're getting a long rest, right?
Yes, indeed.
Long rest
Yes,
confirmed.
So there's no real reason for me to have bark skin because I can only use it in not human form, but whatever the heck I am form.
I thought you could use it before you went into an animal.
Okay, well, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, and then switch to the animal form, have that AC, and then switch back because then I go back to whatever hit points I had before.
Plus, also at some point you might need to fight as a human, and then you can put it up and protect yourself. Because going into beast form means that you're protecting your hit points, aren't you, by being an animal? But if you can't be an animal for whatever reason, then you can make your, I'll say, human form, your halfling form, more tanky, more survivable.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if I should change out spells. I've got bark skin and spider climb based second level.
And I can understand why you'd be apprehensive to face a frost giant, but if you asked me, even a couple of days ago, would we be able to defeat any giants, I would have told you that it was very unlikely. So I'm not sure that this giant will be stronger than the last.
Even if it's just as strong as the last one, we won't have an army of fucking ghost things with us this time to do it for us, will we?
Oh, I forgot about the undead giant. I meant the other giant after that giant, before the other giant. There's a lot of giants in this area.
Oh, spear giant, and then his giant girlfriend.
Did we get any kind of like idea, or would we know what kind of giants we already have faced? Obviously, the one was undead, but what about the second one or the female?
Um, I don't remember. Did you all actually roll for that earlier? I feel like you never really had the identification of them. Otherwise, does somebody have a reason that they would know about giant?
Not in particular. I feel like unless it was like in some sort of like religious text or something like that that I would have read, but I feel like in Waterdeep, probably just the talk of a giant would have been like more legend than like a reality.
Yeah, like two acolytes and a spy background wise, you guys don't really have backgrounds that are going to lend to identifying the difference in giants. Um, Let me just get history from all three of you.
Hey, we might know something.
When most talk of giants happens, very rarely are giants referred to as like humanoid in the level of those things like resembled humans. Those things were very much something different than traditionally what is known as giants. They were something different. And that's probably where we're gonna leave it there.
And did we like the two giants, the guy and the girl? Were they like pretty like similar in nature to each other? Like they didn't seem like they would be like different forms or breeds or anything.
Yeah, so again, those things were like 7, 8 foot tall humans. That's what they look like to you. They would been next to indistinguishable from a human had they not been obscenely much larger than a human. And that's what I mean. Like, you guys know from your understanding of history that generally when people talk about giants, they're not talking about something that looks so much like a human that it's mistaken for a human. Those things were drastically different creatures.
Oh wait, the things we fought were only like 7, 8 foot tall. They were like Andre the Giants. They weren't like giants.
Um, yeah, most giants. I think I don't like how D&D goes with giants. The largest of the giants, I think, are like 15 or 20 feet tall. Giants are not generally as gigantic as giants. I still
No,
like the
I
idea
feel like
of
that's
like
wrong. I looked at the monster manual before a long time ago, and I feel like there was like I feel like a cloud giant was like 60 feet tall or something like that.
yeah, those things were like 8.5, 9 feet tall.
Okay, so how big was like the ogre we fought? We know that that was an ogre, obviously.
Just a little bit taller, about 10, just under 11 feet.
Okay, I got you. And then like the undead giant was like around the same height.
21 to 24.
Okay, that's like much more in line with what I was thinking. Yeah, okay, I'm glad we asked because I was definitely thinking those giants we fought were way bigger than that, like in the 20 foot tall height.
And I think cloud giants are the biggest, and they're 23 to 25. Yeah, I just, in particular, what I was getting at is I feel like when I think of giants, I still think of like Jack and the Beanstalk kind of giants where like their foot on the ground is the height of a human being.
Yeah.
And I just think that level of giant, like when you guys fought the giant inside of Water Deep, with the original gang, like when you went to the Coliseum that they had, that giant was like 11 or 14 feet tall, and I'm like, this is fucking weak. That's a giant.
Yeah, he seemed huge, but I was also a dwarf at the time, so maybe it was just from where I was standing.
But no offense to you guys or anything, but lore and stuff like that is like one of those things that I feel like is part of what specific class choices actually bring to it. Like having a ranger, especially somebody who specializes in fighting giants, is where all of a sudden you just get like massive lore dumps that you can really know a lot of stuff about giants. As far as you guys are concerned, you fought something that was much larger than you guys. It clearly looked like a human, and it clearly doesn't fit into what you know of giants, or at least like the kind of like um, fairy tale and like mythic backgrounds that you would be told as children to kind of scare you away from the wilds. Because in general, that's kind of where you have to like let stuff fall, as far as like knowing a lot of stuff. And very particularly, I would say those things that you all fought are an extremely obscure, like air quotes, giant.
They weren't like your typical giants. They were more like pretty bigs.
But this one we've been told actually is a giant.
I think you all would recognize, I think you did a pretty good job in the cave drawings. In that cave, though, where you fought the skeleton giant, that's where frost giants were going to basically like ritually sacrifice themselves. That's what that pool was that they were like frozen in the bottom of. Um, so I think when you hear frost giant from the wolves, you would recognize that these are one and the same giant, or rather, kind of giant.
Well, I think we should give it a try. I mean, worst case scenario, we can probably talk our way out of there, or maybe distract him and run.
I'll just go along with whatever, but I'm not confident about this one. I mean, we saw how powerful his wolves were. I know you managed to get him to lie down so much, but don't think we'll be able to do the same with him. And the likelihood would be as well just one shot us all, I guess. But hey, we're all going to die sometime. Why not today?
You may be right, my friend, and I doubt that these same tricks will work on him, but perhaps if we stack our abilities together and maybe use some form of combination of magic and charisma or other stuff, we can resolve this situation.
I imagine all of you were drooling at the mention of charisma.
No idea what that is.
What are you talking about? I'm really charismatic.
Well, where should we pick off? Should we head back out to the ice and wait for these creatures again? They appear to come in the night. Or perhaps if we head out there now, we could still find one early in the morning, I'm not sure how well we would be able to track them.
Did we see that wolf running off in a certain direction? Sorry, I remember I asked this last week, but I can't remember what you said.
I mean, you guys saw it running away. Whether that means anything at all is a completely different story.
Never mind then.
What's like the conditions this morning slash last night, as far as like the storm and the snow or whatever? Do we feel like there's a possibility that we would be able to track it?
Let me get a survival from Kansas.
Yeah, okay, so say we like headed back out to the ice basically and like got to the bodies and maybe saw if like there was any way we could track it or if like other wolves or anything had come in the night.
She
find
starts to
anything.
survey. What was that, Kansas?
I can't find any tracks.
As she said.
And what about like the remains? Is there just like bloody ice left or is there still like remnants of bodies?
You see signs of one of the wolves has been kind of picked at from maybe small carnivores, but the one that you guys didn't really go for just seems to be kind of like a frozen block at this point.
Well, your guesses are as good as mine. I imagine if their kin had come that we would see some signs of them, but
It doesn't seem like the giant comes out himself because there's been no giant sightings or anything like that. It's just he seems to send his wolves out. They hunt for him, bring him stuff back. Was my interpretation of it. So the wolves are dead, and we can't track them back to where they came from. I don't know. We could maybe camp out on the ice for a bit, see if someone comes along, but it doesn't seem like he comes along himself. But he get hungry and decide he needs to go and hunt for himself because his wolves haven't come back. Come looking for him to see where they are, but that might not happen right away. It might be a few days before he comes looking for him.
yes, I must agree. And it's like you said, we don't know. Perhaps he has other wolves to do his bidding as well.
Yes, good point. It's quite rare to only have two wolves in a pack, isn't it?
From what we know of giants, if this creature is large, there must only be so many places that such a behemoth could stay concealed. I feel like the wolves spoke of a cave or something, did they not, where they kept the prisoners? I cannot remember. Perhaps it was the crazy people.
Yeah, I think there was mention of a cave, but we can barely even navigate from one town to another without getting lost. So, what are the odds on us finding a cave?
So didn't we like kind of go up to like some mountains or something? Like I can't remember. Is there some sort of like mountain or potential area where we would find a stereotypical cave at that we had noticed?
The stones of Thrun were on a hilltop, but there wasn't like any mountain to be. There wasn't like any like caves around it.
Okay, I got you. And obviously we're like kind of at like water level because there's like a giant lake around. Does there appear to be some other area where there's like elevation, like mountainous area where there would potentially be such caves?
I mean, you guys have that 10 towns map. I think I can force share it to you. That's kind of vaguely what you guys have. The spine of the world is off to the southeast of Icewind Dale, and then there's just those small kind of hills around this area in general.
So is that the hills to the south on the like of Dugan's Hole on this map, like the way it's oriented now, or is there like somewhere else that you're referring to?
Oh, wait, what do you mean?
Like where Dugan's Hole's at on the map that you just shared, we were kind of like in that red water lake area, right? That was like where we were at before when we met the wolves.
Dugan's Hole is off of the Red Waters, yes.
Okay,
The
we were on
wolves.
red water. That was like the lake we were on, right?
I mean, again, that battle didn't take place on the waters themselves. It didn't take place on the ice. You guys were basically north of Dugan's Hole patrolling.
Oh, okay. So we were like in between Dugan's Hole and those trees up there.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe thing to say. Let me get an intelligence from you all.
Yeah, I wonder if those trees could be where a giant lives. I don't know a ton about frost giants or anything, but
We don't know a lot about anything.
that is true. Oh, wait. I feel like the wolf did say specifically a cave, though.
I agree that it would have to be a really large place. Maybe they're underground.
Yeah, I don't in particular remember telling you a cave is part of what I'm thinking here. Now, granted, improvising, I don't necessarily think I don't say incorrect things at times, and I'm perfectly fine with things giving you guys false information as well. Um, but Kansas, you recognize that wolves will still have a certain range that they will predate. Dugan's Hole seems to be inside of that. You guys know in particular that these wolves bother Dugan's Hole. So when you look at that map and you see all of the other 10 towns around, Dugan's Hole and Goodmead, I think were what, like 2 miles apart, 4 miles apart. Um, you've not actually gone to Brinshander to know like their condition, but on some level, you guys know a lot by the fact that Dugan's Hole gets trouble from the wolves. Goodmead does not.
Yes, that is a good observation, Kansas. I think you are right. The trees, the forest seems unlikely. It is more likely than not that they are skirmishing around the outskirts of town, looking for vulnerable, an easy meal. Perhaps we should head south, maybe even to the west.
Yeah, or the northwest.
Well, again, that's part of what I'm saying to you. If you go to Bryn Shindar, you might be able to clarify some things. But when you guys hear the rumor is specifically to Dugan's Hole, what Kansas is able to tell you is effectively that you are likely to have an issue.
So we're thinking maybe we head south, check it out, see if we can find any sign of a giant's lair of any form, or devote a day to it.
Like, if that's their range of predation, that should tell you guys a lot of why they're only bothering Dugan's Hole. That you need to basically go west is probably as far north and potentially more south than anything else, because it basically puts them roughly around that caravan route.
Well, I think that's agreeable. We take our rations, some supplies with us, give it a day, see if we can find anything. If not, by the time we are ready to leave this place, we can head back to Goodmead in time for the elections.
All right, sure.
So heading off to southwest, just venturing towards the caravan route.
Yeah, we could do. I was thinking we could go sort of almost southeastish at first along the sort of water's edge because we've got that for reference. Check that way and then go west and then follow the caravan route up again before coming back, or then just head straight up to Bryn Shander. So we'd effectively go to here first, and then across from there to here, and then just follow the caravan route to Bryn Shander.
I do kind of like the idea of what he said, that if Dougan's Hole is the main spot that gets uh, attacked by the wolves, then it might make sense they would be centrally located between Dougan's Hole and the caravan route. Because the caravan route seems like that would be like easy pickings. And when there's nobody traveling on that, they come to Dougan's Hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, whatever. We'll do that if you want. I'm okay with it.
I mean, thinking like a predator, that's probably what I would do. Because I feel like anybody on the caravan's probably like easy picking because they're like on the road and they don't know the area. And then Dougan's Hole is like the honey pot, the little fish in the barrel spot. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That inbred meat probably doesn't taste as good as that fresh on the caravan route.
But the caravan doesn't ride anymore. There's next to nothing coming into Icewind Dale anymore, and there's nobody leaving.
Oh, that's not where we came from.
I mean, it's entirely viable that you guys did come through there.
Well, I think the truth is we should just head off into the snow and we will probably get lost. So the destination is much less important than the departure itself. Now that's a viable argument. No matter where we try to go, we're probably going to get lost anyway. So really doesn't matter what our plan is.
Oh yeah, I'll give it one roll before we're lost.
Yeah, so I
So,
think we just kind of head southwest.
gotcha. So when you are ready, let me get a survival from Kansas. How early in the morning do you think you all are setting off?
About 8, 9 o'clock, I guess.
Yeah, pretty early. I guess we stopped off wherever those wolves were at, though. So we probably wasted some time doing that.
Good point.
Can't tell what time it is anyway. It's just perpetually dark.
Yeah, but sometimes the aurora borealis is up, and that's night.
Alrighty. So, yeah, we'll just have you all leaving Dugan's Hole. In the meantime, you kind of try to follow yourselves back to where the wolves were killed the night before, where you kind of track down those last few bits of information for yourselves. Start to gather that Goodmead, the forest, and Bryn Shander seem likely outside of the wolves' predation zone, and that's going to clue you all in towards the caravan route and further off towards the southwest. That Dugan's Hole appears to be just close enough There's 6 miles between Dougan's Hole and Goodmead, and that 6 miles seems to be somewhere where the wolves no longer go that far, that they're not hunting people from Goodmead as well. And you start off on your way, and we'll kind of continue off in that general direction. There's certainly high winds, certainly snow flying, but in general, you've got a nice morning ahead of you and the wonders of the aurora overhead. Let me get another survival from you, Kansas. So, pushing forward, you have a pretty clear path ahead of you. You start to see that there's actually like kind of a valley between the hills that lead away from Dougan's Hole. You still have it occasionally within view as the snow breaks. Things go pretty well as you all progress forward. And you kind of make your way along that western route. There's certain points where you pick up the faintest signs of the large paws of these wolves, and you're hopeful that they're old signs of the wolves being here. But at present, it's just kind of the stray um, little bits here and there that tell you that perhaps this is the path that they came in on the day before, but it's just a paw print or two, and then they're lost back to the tundra again. Go for another survival. Yeah, the next hour is going to be you all kind of going about, and in general, you feel like you're trotting forward, but it doesn't really feel like a terribly good progress forward. There's a lot of issues here where you're stepping into snow, and every foot forward feels like a foot backward, and it just feels like you're not even making any progress in the least bit. Let's go for another survival there.
I'm starting to think it's not all mind over matter. I think I've got frostbite on my big toe.
One step forward, 2 steps back. Perhaps this was not the best idea.
What are we looking for again? Is there supposed to be a large sign? Evil giant lives here.
So while you all progress forward, just trudging into the winds, things clear up for a little bit. You have a lot less snow kind of blocking your views, and you do start to see um, probably one of the clearest visions in this area that you've had for a while. You're able to see Dougan's Hole well behind you. Most of the houses are little more than like showing the straight lines of their roofs, and you can see as kind of the color breaks on the roof in the snow. But it is enough to kind of identify that that's still Dougan's Hole, and you can see little bits of the unfrozen central portions of the red waters. But the snow is still kind of being drawn up towards you from the north and from the winds that are coming around Kelvin's Cairn. And then off to the west, you all start to see some of the first signs of like the almost like lift of the edges of the caravan route, kind of making a bit of like a trench on the easterly side of it before you have like the kind of hill that it sits on. Um, Almost in its own like W-shaped valley, because you guys are coming up at it through this valley, but you can see that there's like that level of the hills come down, they dip below their caravan route, and then they lift back up, and the caravan route is kind of on its own little hill with trenches on each side. But this is one of the longest views that you all have. You're kind of able to see um, more often than not, about 5 or so miles in either direction. Go for another survival.
I can't feel my fingers anymore.
Were your little hands always that stubby, or did the tips of your fingers fall off?
Well, they feel like they're about to fall off, and I'm really thinking that the next time I go on an adventure, I want to go in a place with a nicer weather. Like sunshine, flowers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, imagine how sweet this would be as if the adventure didn't say, hey, give them all warm winter gear. It'd be so much more entertaining.
I think it'd be so much more over.
So pushing forward, you all are seeing faint tracks at times. Let me get a perception check from all three of you.
Faint. I can see your tracks at times.
Yeah, let's be going in circles.
Starting to see wolf tracks. Most of them, I think it's pretty well clear to all of you, are not actually the wolves that you're hunting. But you're starting to see signs of smaller wolves that seem to be traveling in this area. A lot of the snow is still covering the tracks, so they're still very faint in that they are hard to read, and they're probably not from today, less likely from tomorrow, but perhaps they were. You're kind of in like one of the highest wind areas. Like this whole area is just unified, and then it's getting blasted from the northerly winds, and all of that snow that kind of gets picked up off of Kelvin's cairn gets deposited in like a raindrop formation on the south side of Icewind Dale.
Perhaps we are closer than we think. Come close for a minute. Before we encounter any danger, I would rather be prepared. And I'll just kind of like get close to everybody and say a small prayer and kind of like hold my shield up and move my hands around a little bit. And I'm going to cast aid on the three of us.
So
Does it
everybody,
last until it's used?
what was your question?
Does it last until it's used, or is it like a duration of an hour?
I was right about to explain what it was. Everybody can go into your health, and you want to, what is it? Click on it, and you want to override max, I think, because you're adding 5 hit points to your maximum, which means over the next 8 hours, you can be healed up to 5 over your current maximum.
Nice one.
It's
Cheers,
like,
man.
yeah, of course. It's a little better than temporary hit points because if I like heal you back up, you still can be healed up to like that number. As where with temporary hit points, once they're gone, they're gone. So
My bad.
it's not bad.
It is max hit point modifier. You should just add a 5 there.
So we currently have 5 more hit points than we usually do, and also we can be healed several times up to that.
Yeah, like your hit point max is now 5 higher, which also means that you can now be healed back to that. You could also have temporary hit points right now and have both of those things at the same time, Whereas if somebody gives you temporary hit points and somebody else gives you temporary hit points, you just get to choose whichever one you want to have. So right now, I think Ezekiel and Faint should have 27 hit points, and Kansas should have 23.
Yep, thank you.
Yes, very happy with it. Thanks.
Of course, it should bolster our resolve. Let us hope that we do not need them, but should we, let us hope that the 5 makes a difference.
So when you all are ready to push forward, I'd like to have survivals from Kansas and then perceptions from Faint and Ezekiel.
Nice one.
I feel rather perceptive this morning.
Are you perceiving how cold it is? Or that you want more fish?
You're talking to a guy who just told you like a day ago that he can't be hurt by the cold. He doesn't feel it.
No, I meant Faint. Because he's the one who's being perceptive, right?
So as you all push forward, you're getting closer and closer to the caravan routes. The faintest signs of Dougan's Hole are still visible when the snows kind of break around you and you do gain a view. It's much easier to still spot the red water in some of those breaks, but at this point, most of Dougan's Hole is just kind of being lost in the snow. And that sort of just like blindness to the white slash colors of the aurora itself. In the process of kind of keeping your attention out, now that you know you're in at least some wolf territory, you all are being a little bit more reticent and trying to keep a little bit more of an eye around yourselves. And Ezekiel, over that next hour, you do spot at some point a wolf. You've not spotted multiple wolves, but at present you've just seen like the slightest sign where the snow breaks, and you're pretty sure off in the distance you see a wolf.
I would just like let the party know. No way to tell how big a size it is or anything.
No, because effectively it could be a gigantic winter wolf and it's 2 miles away, or it could be a tiny wolf that you could fit in the palm of your hand and it's like 15 feet away. It's not for you to know.
I saw something in the distance. A wolf for sure. I'm not quite sure the size of it. Could be a giant wolf, but very far away, or a regular sized wolf at an average distance. Perhaps even a tiny wolf, much closer than it appears. I don't know.
Really small wolf that's close. Or a
A,
giant wolf far away.
a micro machine sized wolf just seems to make me really happy.
Like a chihuahua.
I feel like a small wolf would be less angry than a chihuahua. Chihuahua is the perfect creature to say, I have a Napoleon complex. I should be bigger than this. But when you all are ready, can I get another roll from you all?
Oh, like same ones again? Perception and nature?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice, dude. We're on fire. Good round.
We're doing it, D&D.
We're doing it. We beat the game.
Let's see. That's yeah. So pushing forward at this point, you're pretty regularly able to see the caravan route ahead of you. It's getting close enough where you expect to get to it within the next like hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. A lot of that will depend on kind of the snow ahead of you. You're more clearly inside of one of the troughs that's kind of between the hills around you all, as you're pretty much going in a generally like westward direction here. The signs of the wolves are still many, but you've not actually seen wolves since that one that Ezekiel spotted. And progressing forward, it's not making you feel less comfortable, like that you've lost the wolves, just that you're not seeing them. The actual signs of their footprints are a little more often, um, and a little more clear, as if perhaps they're not as old as the initial prints that you spotted. But when you are ready, let me get another round from all three of you, please.
I think we stopped being on fire.
It was nice while it lasted.
Yeah, it was like the heavens opened up and we knew all the mysteries of the universe.
I mean, you got a 17 and a 14. That's still pretty good.
It was very out of character for us. It was making me feel slightly uncomfortable.
So as you all continue forward, you're progressing kind of down into that null zone between the hills that are west of Dougan's Hole, and starting to approach to where the caravan route is kind of progressing between you and the western side. It's going rather southwesterly, so it gives you a pretty solid understanding of where you all are as you move there. Oh, definitely not the ellipse that I wanted. But you have a pretty solid understanding that you guys are vaguely in that kind of area, because the path is going southwesterly as you cross between these hills. Um, seeing, continuing to see signs of the actual wolves. You're still not picking up any signs of them that are telling you like there's a wolf here. But you are still approaching and still pushing forward, and you should be clearing the caravan route in this next hour. If you guys can give me a survival and then perception.
Are we headed in the right direction? Caravan route ahead. I thought we were going slightly south but west.
Oh, this is completely the right direction.
But I mean, we always intended to head towards the caravan route in the end, so I guess we've just skipped a step.
What did I mess up?
Oh, I thought we were going like southwest, but that's not bad. I mean, like I said, it's not like we couldn't just randomly get lost anyway. So
Oh yeah, it's no problem. Not complaining. Don't worry.
I mean, I just feel like it was me misunderstanding what you guys were going for. That's why I try to ask over and over again for a clear description of what you're going for. So, yeah, I mean, if you guys were trying to go southwest, we can basically put you all um, over that hill. Yeah, I feel like southwest would be pretty solid. I think southwest at this point would kind of have you guys roughly in that area for about the same 7 hours. I think this is going to be the 8th hour. No, this is the 7th. Okay. Yeah, so I think you guys will have um, the understanding that you are on kind of like a peak of one of these hills. You're getting occasional views out around you. You could head towards the caravan route and be a few hours away from it. And other than that, you're pretty well in kind of the same descriptors. But to continue along the same general direction that you are following along right now, you all are at present going to start to drop downward and into one of these valleys. So at present, then, what are you trying to do?
Well, perhaps we should try to stay in an elevated area. Would be more ideal for visibility. Not to mention, if the wolves are predators, I think that they would think the same way too. I doubt that they would look for a place to stay in the valley.
I mean, you guys are on the hilltop. If you want to stay elevated, you're not going to move.
Oh, it's just like the tip of a hill. It's not like when I look at the map, it looks like there's like whatever. Just describe it however you want. I'm just trying to not make this boring.
That's what you guys are on right now.
From up here, can we see any kind of landmarks or anything that would indicate something to go towards?
The caravan route.
Goes the caravan route.
So there's a lot of snow over there, and snow over this side also, and snow directly in front of us.
Yeah, when you guys look around, you see white and whatever colors of the aurora are overhead. Because everything that you see moment to moment is just snow. You are in a desert tundra. It is just snow. So is the idea to start to head downhill and go westward towards the caravan?
I think so. Unless anybody else has got any ideas, I think it's just pick a direction. There's nothing here, is it? So maybe we'll just go in a direction at this point.
Sure.
Sounds good. And it will help us to keep our bearings so we don't get turned around again.
So another round of checks, please. So while you all are pushing forward and into the west, you're going to come over those hills and with signs of the caravan route off to your west. Faint's going to pick up sightings of wolves coming in and starting to move closer to you all. And you're going to start to be able to spot and see them. If I can have you all place yourselves on this here map.
Are those trees or bushes?
Bushes. So as you all start to spot signs of them, you move off into this thicket of bushes. And if I can have you all roll for initiative. A wolf is going to charge forward and bite out at Faint. It should hit. I'm going to need a strength saving throw from you, Faint. And it's going to do 9 piercing damage as it bites into you. And you will maintain your footing as it tries to pull you off of your foot. And it's going to go to you, Faint.
All right. I guess I'll attack it with a psionic blade, close range. A 24 to hit for 8.
First one will hit.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action to hide and then jump in this bush.
All right, it's going to attack you if you do that. Like, it sees you while you're trying to hide.
Okay.
Like, you can disengage and run away, or you can do that, run away, take the hide action, and then try to hide again. Or try to move again.
Let me just see what. Hang on a sec. Okay, so I can take disengage as my bonus action, so I'll disengage and then run.
One is going to charge up from the south and bite out at feint. And I believe an 11 is a miss.
Yep.
I'll go to... Another is going to charge forward and bite out at Ezekiel. And it's just going to kind of get deflected by a shield. And I think that's going to go to Kansas.
All right, so we've got 3, right?
They're wolves. If you see 3 now, yes, but you expect more.
Oh, I thought there might only be 1 at the beginning. All right, so I'm gonna reach into the gray bag of tricks and hope I get an elk.
I believe that's the dire wolf. Where are you throwing it?
Oh, sorry, I'm hitting the wrong key, so you can't hear anything I'm saying. Does it need to be next to me?
Up to 20 feet from you.
Okay, other side of faint then. Well, wait, that won't work. Other side of the wolf from whatever.
All right. If you look down at your allies, bag of tricks, you can go down to the dire wolf and you can drag it out and put wherever you're looking to it, because I feel like you're just throwing it south of you.
Yeah, but I can't see anything to work with. So,
What do you mean you can't see anything to work with?
On this list where you put your token in, Jamie, scroll
yeah,
down a little bit to allies and just drag the dire wolf out.
not in roll 20. I can't see it. For some reason, I am
In roll 20,
not.
allies, bag of tricks. It's under characters in the journal on the right. It looks like the newspaper. Maybe one over from the dice rolling thing in the top right.
Okay, that might work. Now, is my wolf bigger than the regular wolf or not?
I'm pretty sure the dire wolf should be large.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I can't get back to the text part of the chat, which is, the part where I can see what the roles are.
Top right, it looks like little chat boxes
Yeah, I know.
straight out of a comic book.
I keep clicking on that and nothing happens. I can see the characters thing, which is how I got the direwolf out, and the other things when I click on them I can see, but not the chat.
I don't know what to say other than potentially loading Roll20. I'm not sure what could do that to you.
Okay, I will try reload. Does the wolf get to attack?
You can bonus action and tell it to attack the wolves. I think that's pretty viable for you to do.
Okay, attack the thing next to you.
At the end of your turn, are you going to move?
That was my action, right?
It was indeed.
All right, I'm gonna back up then.
When you say the thing next to you, are you talking about the elf in front of you?
I don't know. What did I just say?
Attack the thing next to you. It is currently next to
Oh,
a
I
wolf,
wanted to
and it is
attack
next
the
to a
wolf.
feint.
Attack the wolf, not just
Excellent.
attack. the wolf. Don't attack any of the humanoid things. If I back up, does the wolf get an attack of opportunity on me?
100% does.
Then I'll stay here because I might as well.
Ending your turn, you can make an attack with the dire wolf, and it will have advantage. If you still can't do anything, just can you click the dice manipulator and
Oh,
just
I
roll a
can
d20?
click, but I can't see what the numbers are. Did you
All
get
right.
anything?
Yep. 19 will hit. It's going to do 8 piercing damage.
Great. All right, I'm gonna try and exit out and reload on that.
And that's going to kill that wolf.
Good job.
It'd be bad if like the wolves decided to be friends, ganged up on the humanoids.
Oh, if you said that creature that you're next to, I totally would have had it attack faint.
Yeah, that's not good.
Language matters.
Okay, I reloaded. I can see the rolls again. I don't know why. That's never happened before.
Another one is going to run up to Ezekiel and kind of leap onto him. I need a strength saving throw from you, Ezekiel. And it's going to do 12 piercing damage as it like leaps up onto your shoulders and bites into your neck. And that is the DC, so you are able to maintain standing. Yeah, another one is going to leap out at Ezekiel. And I believe a 13 is going to be a big old miss. And then it's going to be on you, Ezekiel. Currently have 3 around you, to north to south in a wheel. 1 below that. And then there's another one that is kind of in between your 3 allies. The dire wolf, I think, again, should be like close to twice the size. And you would have seen... yeah, it should be twice the size. You would have seen that kind of like pop into existence as Kansas reaches into the bag.
Plus, you're smart and you know that there's a bag that produces stuff.
Sure, I'm totally worried about the wolves over there. 100%. I care for sure about the other wolves, not the ones that are swarming me, chewing me to pieces. So I'm gonna stab at the one north of me. I think was the one that was already attacked.
I don't think any of them are bloodied at present.
Oh yeah, I thought Josh like daggered after that one right at the very beginning.
Oh, yeah, my bad. That's the one furthest to the south of you. It's the one like not actually in combat with you right now. And it is indeed bloodied, so it's easy to see.
Oh, that one, the one that's all the way to the south is the one that's bloodied, not the one that's in combat with me.
Correct, yeah. It is not one that is in combat with you. It's just south of you.
Okay, well then I'm just going to hold my spear up and look at the wolf and just say, "Let the sacred you," and I'm going to sacred flame it.
My bad. I heard hold my spear up, look at the wolf. I assume you're casting.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this thing.
I could hear you.
What is that? Sacred Flame? Gotcha. It's gonna burn it for a damage. Is this at the one faint attacked or at the one on north of you?
Oh, the one that's bloodied.
Gotcha.
And then I'm gonna bonus action and do healing word on myself.
Gotcha.
My wounds will not cripple me yet.
So one's going to leap up at feint. It should hit, and it's gonna no strength saving throw from you, and it will do 7 piercing. And then from the opposite side, the west side of you, another one's going to leap up and attack at you. And another strength saving throw, please. And it's going to do 8 piercing damage to you. Both saves, so you're not pulled to the ground.
Okay, I'm extremely bloodied.
Fuck it. Ezekiel, one of them is just going to run past you. Do you want to react to it?
I will stab it with my spear.
And it's going to leap out.
That's one-handed because I got my shield.
It is going to leap out at Kansas. Should hit. And strength saving throw, please, Kansas. And then take 7 piercing damage as it bites into you. And it's going to drag you to the ground.
Apparently not.
And then it will go to feint.
All right. I'll attack the one to the east of me.
All right. Just for sake of putting it out there, the one to the east of you is the only wolf that you can see that you do not get to sneak attack. Every other wolf
sorry.
on this board, you can sneak attack.
Yeah, good point. Sorry, I what's it called? Completely forgot about sneak attack then for a second because I keep forgetting. Yeah, that works for melee as well.
But it's his favorite.
It's just one of those things. Sometimes I feel like it's still a new character, and I gotta mention it because you pick the one.
All right, to the
Only you.
the one to the west of me then.
Gotcha.
18 to hit, and if it is a sneak attack, it's 11 damage.
It will be severely bloodied.
All right, I'll attack it again then. I just realised I did that with my bonus attack instead of my. That was a bonus attack I rolled for that instead. So
Aren't they the same for you though?
no, it's a D6 damage for my main attack, and then only a D4 for my.
All right, I got you. Roll a d6. If you roll a 4 or higher, it's a kill. Nope.
That's fine.
And then roll a bonus to see if you can kill it.
I'll probably kill it.
Yep. So just describe to me how you kill that one. With obviously your first attack is the potent attack.
I slice at it with a empty hand, and it just slices straight through its neck. And then the second I put my hand, rest my hand on top of its head, and then just there's a shimmer, there's a light burst through the bottom of its jaw, and then it just falls to the ground.
Any movement from?
Vote no.
Wolf. I think this wolf's dead. Yeah. So 15 is north of Ezekiel. Ezekiel, you already took an attack of opportunity, right?
Yeah, I'm 6 in order, so.
Yeah. So you struck out at it. The wolf to the north of you is going to leave your side as it runs off to attack Kansas prone on the ground. Big ol' miss with an 11 to hit.
Good.
And then that's going to take it to Kansas, I believe.
All right. So do I have to try and stand up, or can I hit from where I am?
You are welcome to do what you would like to do. If you are prone on the ground and you attack with something that has to roll to attack, you're going to be at disadvantage. If you use something that is a saving throw, it's not on you, but for most purposes, you want to spend half your movement to stand up.
Plus, they'll get advantage on you being prone.
They're pack tactics, they get advantage pretty much regardless. The prone's just a bonus.
Or frostbite? It's the one that's between me and faint. I did that one out. I will stand up. Do my best.
All right, for instance, there's a single wolf that you can see that is bloodied on this map. Would you like to attack that one instead of the one between you and Faint?
Sure. I can't tell which one that is, though.
It is northwest of you.
Okay.
Plus,
I will take that one out, if possible.
plus, it means if you killed that one, then on my turn, I'd have no one to get sneak attack on.
It is indeed injured, and you do indeed kill it.
Do I manage to stand up?
Yeah, it's just half your movement to stand up. It's not like a question.
Okay. Then I will, my friendly wolf, friendly to me. Wait, so Faint, you don't want me to hit the one that's in between us?
You do you.
Because can my friendly wolf hit the one that's to the north of me? Or it's on the picture, it doesn't look like it's in contact.
You can tell it to move.
Good point. I didn't think of that.
At the end of your turn, use your bonus action to say, attack this wolf, and it can move to it and attack it.
Okay, attack this wolf. There we
So
go.
it reaches out and it will bite out at it. It will indeed strike the wolf. Let's see. Saving throw. It's going to maintain on its feet. And that wolf will be severely bloodied. And that's going to go to 7 is south of Ezekiel. And it's going to go for 5. So Ezekiel's 1 through 4, 5 is faint. And it is going to leap out at faint. It's going to hit and a strength saving throw, and then it's going to do 9 piercing damage.
Irrelevant, I'm down.
Gotcha. To one of the wolves to the north between Kansas and Faint is going to attack Faint. It will hit and do 2 death saving throws.
Okay.
And then another wolf on Ezekiel is going to attack Ezekiel. Nobody's big ol' miss, and it's going to go to Ezekiel. You currently see, as you've taken out some of the wolves, you all have 3 corpses kind of laying around, but you currently see 2 wolves kind of tearing into Faint's flesh.
I'm about to stab the wolf right in front of me. Try. I'm about to try to stab the wolf right in front of me.
The main things that you tried.
Like doing the look away, and you do not feel any pressure back as you strike out with your spear.
Yeah, I like see over my shoulder, Faint's on the ground, just being like chewed to pieces. And I'm just going to yell out to him, Faint, death will find you one day, but today is not that day. And I'm going to cast Healing Word on him.
Very kind.
Yeah, Healing Word.
Now, Faint, don't forget, your blades that do not exist in this plane of existence, you've dropped them to the ground by falling unconscious. You have nothing in your hands, but you now have 9 hit points.
I don't need anything in my hands anyway.
That was my point. I never have anything in my hands. And after Ezekiel, let's see, one of these wolves is to the east of Faint. But it's 5. 5 is going to be Kansas. Gonna bite out at Kansas. I believe a 15 will hit. Can I get a strength saving throw from you, Kansas? And take 7 piercing damage. And it's gonna go to Faint.
Yeah, coughing blood. Thank you, Ezekiel. Appreciate that. And then I'll attack the one that's between me and Kansas.
Assuming you're standing up.
Yes, sorry, do that first.
Kansas will
Only-
fall prone as that one bites into her.
It's only an 11 to hit.
Yeah, that's gonna miss.
All right, I'll attack it again then. Uh, 22 to hit for 10.
That'll leave it bloodied.
Yeah, well, he's no good though, unfortunately, is it? The fact that they're chomping for us, but fair enough, that ends my turn. Doesn't improve the action economy. An attack will have to be wasted on finishing it off.
Wolf above. Yeah, it's north of Kansas, so let's see. It's gonna go to Faint. And it is going to strike out at Faint. I believe a 15 hits. Strength saving throw,
Yep.
please, and 4 piercing damage. So you maintain your footing, and it's going to go to Kansas. You're once again on the ground. You have a bloodied wolf directly south of you, and there's otherwise 4 wolves kind of between you and Faint right now. Probably can't even see the wolf that Ezekiel is over there with right now.
Well, certainly not from the ground, and probably not standing anyway. All right, so I will try to get back up again, or I will get back up since you said I can just back up. And then I will hack at the one that's adjacent. Well, the one that's bloodied. And use a hand axe on it. Not very well. I'm not going to do very well at that. And then I'm going to tell my wolf buddy, the big one, to try and chew on the one that I was unable to hit. Bloodied one.
Oh, did you roll it? It just didn't show up?
It's the same for me. I think roll 20 just crashed, so I'll just refresh the page.
Oh, yeah. I actually see roll 20 saying that right now.
Oh, I rolled a 2 with a hand axe.
Yeah, word. Okay. There we go. I'm seeing some rolls now. Was that just a test, Ezekiel? A D4?
Oh yeah, I was just trying to see because like all you guys disappeared from my screen. I didn't know if I needed to exit out, so I just rolled a random d4.
Right. Yeah. Josh said he had already reloaded it. So when everybody disappeared, it was Josh and I. So I feel like he fixed it with the reload. But by the time it showed up to me that there was an error, it was like, yep, it's already fixed.
Just
I
call me
also
Hackman.
lost it
So
this time. So, I mean, I've got, the same stuff. Anyway, I can't hit.
nope, your wolf has advantage because it is a wolf, and because it's attacking something that is threatened by both you and Faint. So it does indeed hit, and it will indeed kill that wolf.
Oh, cool. Better than me.
That to me is why the dire wolf is the best of those pets, is because it has pack tactics. The elk, I feel like, does a little bit more damage, but it has a lot more hit points, I feel like. But that should be your turn. And it's going to go to the wolf west of Faint. So 1, 2, 3 is Faint. Gonna go for 6, should be Kansas. And just doing a little dance. Should strike out and get a hit on you. Can you do a strength saving throw, Kansas, and take 7 piercing damage? You are not allowed to stand up.
I fall back down. I'm not allowed at all.
I mean, every time you stand up, you're getting pulled back to the ground by the wolves, so
Yeah.
it's not working out well.
I am seriously hurting right now. I guess I could heal myself. Ooh, try that.
Or turn into another animal.
I could do
This
that
one
too.
is on Ezekiel. It's going to attack Ezekiel. And I don't believe a 13 can hit. It's going to go to Ezekiel. I think that one's just chewing on the same piece of metallic armor. And like you can't even feel it. It's just like gnawing on your like shin plate.
I'll like look over at it. I'm like, oh, I thought you were dead. And I'm gonna
It's
try
like,
to stab it again.
Is this metal not you? I thought it was killing you.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go for the stab.
And it seems that it's being just dexterous enough that you're not able to kill it while it slowly gnaws away at your metal armor. Do you have a bonus action?
Yeah, I can't hold a bonus action though, can I?
That's correct. It has to be an actual action.
Uh, I don't actually have to be able to like see her past that wolf or anything, right? I can just cast a spell.
He's small and it's large. I don't see any reason why you couldn't see her. But if the spell says a target you can see, but again, I still feel like you could see her regardless. Like if she can move through a creature without any problem, like without it being difficult terrain, I don't think it's absurd for you to be able to see her through its legs.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I'm gonna just bonus action, healing word on Kansas this time.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
So the wolf to the northeast of you, Faint, is going to, I think that's one that just attacked Kansas. It is going to leap at Faint, bite into you. It's going to deal 7 piercing damage as it kind of like gnaws into your shoulder. Can you make a strength saving throw, Faint?
I can't because I'm down.
Faint is back down. And you're next up. Can you do a death saving throw?
Uh-oh.
The action economy is already turned. Even if it's dangerous now, it's not going to stay dangerous for long. This one is going to run off towards Ezekiel, both Kansas at disadvantage and the... Ooh. Kansas, I think you're unarmed because didn't you just go unconscious and Justin brought you back with that healing?
No, I had 4
No.
hit points.
Okay. So Kansas, you can make a hand axe attack, and then the dire wolf can make a normal attack as the wolf leaps over at Ezekiel.
I'll wave it around, kind of, like a conductor.
Can you make the attack with the dire wolf?
Oh, sorry.
If it lives to get to you, Justin, it is going to bite into your back shoulder. I'll need a strength saving throw, and it's going to do 8 piercing damage to you. But that's if it lives, which it is not going to.
It doesn't like when creatures pick on me, or just anything in general. Wants to kill.
So that is going to go to Kansas. You are down on the ground. You see the wolf to the southeast of you chewing on Faint, and Faint coughing up blood.
Is he close enough? Like, can I touch him or not? No, the wolf is in. Never
You
mind.
can move and touch him. What's your movement speed?
Fast.
Jamie, because you're little, you can move through squares of creatures larger than you. So you can actually just move south and then go east, and you won't get op attacked.
Yeah, I think you're going to lose 15 for standing, and you'll have 10 feet where you can just walk to right there.
Into the bush like that. Okay. All right. Well, I'll do that and then do yeah,
What's your movement speed? Is it 25?
25. Yeah.
Yep, that's perfect.
If that'll help him out a little bit
And it
until
keeps
the
him from dying.
direwolf.
Thank you very
What?
much.
Chew on this.
Direwolf is biting on the same one, or the one next.
It just bites into its fur. It's able to maintain its foot. But that is going to be a killing blow. And that was the next up. Going to be the wolf west of Ezekiel. It's going to stay and fight. That sucks to roll that because that would have been enough to hit Ezekiel. 18? 18 to hit? I think that's your 18.
I'm about to -1 it with my inspiration.
Son of a bitch. It's going to miss.
Oh yeah, shit, inspiration. I could use. Oh,
So it finally gets like close to finding that little chink in your armor, and as it bites down, its tooth is just gonna get caught in one of the rivets, and you're just gonna hear as like this thing like bites in strong, and it just tears out a tooth, and there's just like a fountain of blood on you, and it's gonna go to Ezekiel.
He's gonna like look down at the wolf and just say to it, "Are you biting at me? I thought we were friends."
Still not enough to hit it.
We're like in an epic battle. We're dueling hard over here. No bonus
nice.
action this time.
So I can't give him inspiration on his roll, and no, it's got to be your own rolls or the rolls of an enemy on you. Is that right?
You can feel free to give him negatives, but no, yeah, it's a plus to yours, or it's essentially a negative to mine.
I got it. Okay. I didn't realize you're going to do it at 1 point. I'm assuming that's definitely what you've been doing before, Justin. But so I thought I just had one off -7 or +7 in my pocket.
No, yeah, it's definitely up to. Like when you stack up, you've got 8 right now. So at any given point, you can basically make a 12 into a 20. It's not a crit, but you could make like you can do a lot to manipulate your dice. You could turn a 2 into a 10. Or you could
Oh,
make
nice.
something against you that rolls like a 19 to hit, you could make it an 11. Or like
Nice.
something that rolls like a 16, you can make a 13 by sacrificing 3.
So I
So
effectively
that
could
one.
have avoided going down once before by using my points. Didn't realize that.
Yeah, but in the long run, also, you want to think about the fact like, are a bunch of wolves really the epic encounter that you want to use inspiration on?
Well, they were for me. We went down twice.
Yeah, it was pretty epic, the falling down.
And yet you're still not dead, so
Right, but if
It's
you're
two
dead, you
healers,
can't
two
be
healer
inspired.
friends.
if you guys got them, flaunt it. So let's see. This one is going to. Damn, it really won't it. It's going to go for Kansas. 19 will hit. It's going to do 8 piercing damage, and I need a strength saving throw from you, Kansas. And then faint. It is on you. You are on the ground.
I'll stand up, and then I'll attack the one that's attacking Kansas.
It is pulling Kansas to the ground again. That will miss.
Go on then. +1 inspiration on that roll.
That will hit.
Hooray! 9 damage then.
And that's going to be a kill.
Oh, very good. I was about to roll my bonus. Very good.
Well, it's enough that you could clear that distance, make it over to Ezekiel, and attack the one that's
Oh
on
yeah,
him.
I completely forgot about that
You've got
one.
half movement, though. What's your movement speed? 35?
Yeah, but I've got ranged attack,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep.
so I can hit with my ranged from here technically. So yeah, I'll bonus that one.
Yeah, I feel like you still need to, like, you don't have
I
sharpshooter,
know.
right?
No.
I feel like something like that's going to give you your best attack, even at range.
Oh, okay.
But it's a
Because
big
the
ol'
bush and
miss.
stuff.
Yeah, in general, I don't even think of the stuff that's on the map just so much as I have maps that look different. Jamie's like, are those trees or bushes? I was like, lichen? But
I
it's
don't
going
know.
to go
Maybe they're
around to
bushes you can
Kansas.
hide in, and I don't know.
No, I just mean that I don't even think about stuff like that. Like,
I think the white ones are bushes and the green ones are trees.
I think that's what it's meant for, but there's not this many trees in like all of Icewind Dale. There's 2 little forests that would actually fit a map like this.
I always
Oh, that
wonder
makes
that,
sense.
like in Game of Thrones, like it's never sunny or whatever. When are these plants supposed to grow?
Well, that's part of why I say like those little forests that they have next to Bryn Shindar and like Goodmead, and then the one over between Tourmaline and Lonelywood, those are absolutely precious because those are trees that grew, long before this permanent winter. They don't get new trees. When they sacrifice wood to Arl, that's something important. So I think for what it's worth, you guys can clean up this last wolf without a problem. You guys want to, or do you have anything in mind, Jamie? What are y'all thinking?
I think Ezekiel should just kill it.
I mean,
Sure.
it's on Jamie.
Good point.
I can try and hit it with the hand axe again and fail miserably.
Are you going to throw your hand axe?
Oh, it's the
Yeah.
one it's not the thing next to me. I'm gonna tell the big wolf to go get it.
gonna hit. It's gonna save. And it is not bloodied. On its turn, it is going to run off to the northwest. Ezekiel and the direwolf can make an attack of opportunity.
Can I do a grapple for an attack of opportunity?
I think so. I feel like we decided it is an attack action, and you can use the grapple.
Where do you think you're going, you mangy little beast? I just did a strength check. Is that right?
Yep. Nope, it's going to get away.
Well, that was annoying.
I kind of like that wolf anyway. I really didn't want to kill it. But I was obviously trying. Obviously.
No, obviously. Either that or you're going to start feeding it and befriending it. But we've already got one wolf friend, it seems.
I would not just dance around in big combat for like 5 rounds for nothing. I mean, we were trying to kill each other, me and the beast.
Well, you were busy keeping me alive as well. So are you, Kansas?
I'll like look off to where the wolf went, and I'll like insincerely say, "One day we will meet again, wolf, and when we do, only one of us will live."
How do you know that wouldn't be you? Or would be you?
Of course it would be me. That wolf was chewing on my armor for the entire battle. He could not even strike me. I felt bad for him. I think it was a cut.
All I know is they kept pushing me down.
You got up again. They were never going to keep you down.
Cleaning up the wolves. You all are quite a few hours into your travel to the caravan route. You are a good bit south of Dougan's Hole and a good bit more west of Dougan's Hole. In general, what kind of thoughts do you all have as you battle these wolves?
I want to live.
I'm too young to die.
We are probably sleeping out here tonight, so
Yeah, I could do with a quick breather, to be honest with you, before we move on. Light a quick fire and sit by it for an hour.
are you guys currently bloodied?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That hill from Kansas obviously was massive when she got me back up again. So I'm on 10 out of 27 at the moment.
Yeah, if we're about to try to take a short rest, I guess like start a fire. Are we able to burn any of these shrubs or anything, or is it pretty much like barren out here?
I mean, again, that's kind of my point of saying, like, that was just a random battle map. I would say, in general, a fire is not really something you guys have the capability of until you're actually carrying firewood with you. I would say if you're looking to do a short rest here, the most likely ways that you guys have of resting is actually to dig into the ice and find a respite from the wind by being basically inside of a snow shelter that is basically just digging under the snow. The easiest thing is to dig very small, like singular holes almost, and kind of lay in them like a little like a mummy in a coffin. or you guys could kind of dig a hole and make something a little closer to a igloo. It depends on how much time versus how quick you want to manage it.
I think whatever the quicker solution is really, because we don't want to be out here too long.
I think the general quickest solution is just to sit tight and close to each other, and relax.
Little penguin huddle.
More or less, yeah.
If I like break one of these spears up into like some smaller like splintered pieces, could I light a fire with that?
Well, before you do that, doesn't Kansas have like 50,000 torches?
I think that was Paris.
Yeah, and you looted it, didn't you?
I do have some though.
I mean, burning even a spear is not going to necessarily produce a lot of whatever, but what's your goal in having a fire? What are you all looking for there?
Purely just have a bit of warmth for the hour's rest, so it's more of a short rest than it is just staying still for an hour and going, well, I feel rested.
Yeah, I mean, if it's thematic, sure, you can burn a spear. Um, Again, as far as everything goes in the game, your clothing keeps you warm, so you don't have to worry about like what you're doing sitting down versus lighting a fire. One of the biggest things you'll have to worry about is the actual winds in this area blowing a fire out. So you'll want to kind of like dig it down a little bit in the snow. You'll probably want to do something to insulate it from the snow so it doesn't melt itself out. But in the long run, yeah, you guys can burn a spear or you can burn torches to manage a fire for an hour. But it's far more the idea of having a fire than that you're going to get much out of the fire.
All right, I'm happy to just say we effectively penguin huddle for an hour then if you guys are up for it.
The spear is on the fire now. It's too late to back up. It's too late.
Well, you were talking. I set fire to the spear regardless.
I will burn the spear and just throw it in the snow and watch it burn. It will provide no heat, but I'm convinced at this point.
Just curl up
It's
next to
about
the big
sending a
wolf.
message to the wolf.
The
That's
big
right.
wolf is like, warm. Like a three-dog night thing, but all in one dog.
It's like a beacon of hope for my little wolf friend that you should choose to come back and be our companion. Before we like go to take our short rest, hopefully, I'm gonna like pull out the little book that I was like telling you guys the story about, and I'll like prick my finger and drip a little blood in it, like open it up, and then I'll read a little bit from the book, and I'm gonna do my special ability.
Special ability.
I think it should heal everybody up to half.
I will channel my divinity.
All right, fair enough. But I think I'm almost at half already anyway. But yeah,
Yeah, so Ezekiel and Faint should be able to get up to 13 hit points, and then it would stop, and then Kansas should get up to 11.
is that a once a day thing? Is it?
It's per short rest. It's really no
Oh,
cost for his. If he has it before a short rest, I don't think it does. It costs him
I know.
anything.
Yeah. So how much
Yeah.
are you guys below half right now?
Well, I was effectively because I was on 10 out of 27.
Yeah, so he would have taken 3. Kansas, how much were you at?
I was okay because I'd cast a cure on myself. Use one of my
Well,
spells.
don't cast that because you want your spells.
Yeah,
Is
we're
that
taking a short
16
rest.
there?
I uncast that then. That did not happen.
Is it that 16 there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the type of thing. Your spells are for a full day. You definitely want to try to be strategic about that stuff. So yeah, I would definitely not cast that, especially if that's your last spell. But where would you be at before that?
I was at 7.
So she'll take, I think, 6. No, my bad. she'll take 4. So I think a total of 7 between the two of them.
Thank you very much. Healing me again. Appreciate it. I'd be dead if it wasn't for your help.
I am merely the vessel. I'm going to use a hit dice also.
Yeah, same.
So
I'll take a shot.
Yep. Depending on where you all are at from there, again, like it would have healed Fane up to 13 and Kansas up to 11. Now would be the time to use hit dice. And then once you click to take the short rest, make sure that you have those hit dice, like click that you use them so it registers that they are used.
Mine registered as used, but for some reason it didn't transfer over to the VTT, but I healed up 7, but I only needed 5.
Nice one, man. I'm not at full, but I think. Actually, no, I'm not going to waste another hit.
I feel healthier than I did when I woke up this morning. Because I got, the bonus 5 hit points.
Yeah, I don't know what I did. I like clicked somewhere else and it like rolled an actual die on my screen, like physically. Well, like digitally, physically.
Metaphorically. Yeah, it came whilst I was on D&D Beyond. It came up in the corner saying Ezekiel rolled a 7.
Yeah, it was weird. That's just where I clicked.
The closer they get to their VTT, the more it fails with roll 20 and beyond 20.
I didn't get that notification.
Ooh, sorry. I guess you didn't make the snap. What's it called? MySpace top 3 list.
If you look at the game log while you're on your character on Beyond or D&D Beyond, you should be able to see it. Because while I was confirming that you all had your hit dice set correctly, I was able to look at it. So you all can hunker down in the snow and rest over the next hour here. There's very little activity from about. Towards the end of your rest, you're going to see as the aurora starts to dissipate and goes into the deep of the night, and you all are approaching a full moon. So right now you're probably at like 90% as it waxes towards a full moon. So it's pretty similar lighting conditions, only instead of being colorful from the aurora itself, it's now like more true kind of light colors as the moon reflects the sun. This is the closest you get to sunlight in Icewind Dale. What would y'all like to do?
So wait, is it like midday right now? Is that what you're saying?
No, that tells you guys that it is nighttime. It is during the day. It's during the day that you have the aurora. So when you all woke up, that was around like shortly after the aurora started. Depending on when Faint actually chose to sleep, I assume on some level he can always kind of catch, 2 hours before or 2 hours after you all, like where his 4 hours falls. But if he woke up 2 to 4 hours before you all, he would have spotted that the rise of the aurora was basically like an hour and a half before you all like put off and left Dougan's Hole. But that's like the clock that you guys get in this place is like what kind of light it is. If it's white light, you're under the moon. If it's colorful lights, you're like what should be daytime.
Are like pocket watches and clocks a thing in D&D?
I feel like that's where you start to get into like the steampunk of what separates Eberron from the rest of the worlds. Like high fantasy, I would say no, clocks are not a thing. Um, it's one of the things that, like, keen mind, it is absurdly hard to not use time to describe stuff to people, but with keen mind, it's absurd how particular you have to be for there to be just no middle ground. Um, there are certain places in here where you understand that people understand, like where the sun goes can tell you what time it is. So I often try to describe stuff on if you have a visible sun or moon, like in the actual arc of their path, like 60 degrees is roughly halfway through that 90 degrees. Like up to 90 degrees above you is like that midway through, night or day. Um, and that's just some of the few things that you have that gives you like a solid sense of what time it is. Dusk, dawn, and like the midday or the mid arc, the zenith. That's completely broken up. You sound like a drive through. It's like digitally scrambled. It's still doing it. We've lost Josh. Oh, right. I guess that could be it. It definitely sounds like the CIA is hacking you. So as you all pick up from, oh, I guess I don't know whether he can hear over normal speakers. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I was just saying, like, as you guys finish your rest, you're basically looking at like an hour and a half or so to the caravan route and continuing on. Um, but you are approaching again with the vague idea that it is either south or southwest. You're approaching that kind of general area that you were originally thinking is the central portion of where they might have been hunting.
Can you hear me any better now?
That seemed a little better. I don't know necessarily whether I heard enough from you, but
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I'm assuming it's just because my battery was low. Because when I'm playing here now I'm at my mum's house. I sort of go out of the way somewhere, and then I just use my AirPods and my MacBook out the way, so it's a bit more soundproof up in the attic, which is my like loft conversion bedroom from when I was a teenager. So yeah, I just use AirPods, but I use one at a time. So yeah, when the battery gets low, I swap between them. So if the battery was low, that'll explain. But it could also be the internet because this house is like 120 years old, so the internet doesn't get through the walls very well.
I mean, depending on how often the batteries go low, I've never heard that like digital scramble from you. It was very much like a like loss of fidelity in like the signal. So I feel like battery low kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I started getting pings, you see, and it started playing the chime in my ear saying battery critically low. So I was like, oh, I'll just keep using it until it dies, and then I'll swap.
Yeah, the other set that I was using that were turning off on me after the break, they allow me to switch seamlessly. So that's one of the things. Like I'll go half the session before I plug one in and go like half-eared. But I don't know what it was doing, so I'm on my old set.
Yeah, it's basically
But
exactly what I did. I had my left one in that for the first half of the session, and now I've got the right AirPod in instead.
yeah, yeah. So you guys are roughly in that little small circle. Um, you vaguely think, and you're kind of closing in further and further, that the wolves would be somewhere in this general area for them not to be predators in Bryn Shander, but be predators in Dougan's Hole and not Goodmead, as well as not in that forest. So it's just kind of closing in on what you all would like to do as you start to move away from where you kind of huddle down for the rest at the wolf battle.
So do we think they were the wolves from Dougan's Hole, or what?
Those did clearly were not the same type of wolf. Those seemed like just your average wolf. Does not mean that we are not close, but I think it's time that we start to discuss what our plans are for the evening. I suspect we will be sleeping out here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how far we are from Dougan's Hole and Bryn Shander, we could maybe make it to one of the two, but we'll be walking for a long time. We might end up getting a bit exhausted.
Yes, perhaps we can look for a good place to rest. Spend one more day out here searching tomorrow, but make our way home by evening if we have not found our destination. So yeah, I'm thinking we just maybe spend a couple more hours searching slash walking around looking for a decent place to hold up for the night, and then or maybe like making a decent place to hold up for the night. And then we just do like watches between Josh not really sleeping that much, and then a little extra backup from whatever animal Jamie has at the moment.
Yeah, when I do because I meditate for 4 hours instead of sleeping, I'm assuming there has to be 4 consistent hours rather than like an hour on, an hour off, or whatever.
I don't see any reason. I don't see any reason why it would be any different than another character. During a long rest, you have to not do anything for a total of 4 hours.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. So I suppose what I could do then is do the last 4 hours and have the wolf sort of protect us for the first 4. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it won't get hungry and eat us. It's it's our friend.
I mean, you guys still have the two of them who can watch for 2 hours of their 8 hours. They only need to sleep for 6.
So about how many hours have we got until the wolf disappears? I'm making this way more complicated than it needs to be.
If you guys go to sleep early enough, you're relatively sure that the wolf lasts till dawn. So as long as you go to sleep before the moon is probably in its zenith, you can probably get your full night's sleep before the wolf disappears.
All right, cool. But does that mean, sorry, that we'll be waking up at like 1 a.m. or something?
No, I mean, you guys can plan it as much as you'd like to try to basically wake up at dawn, like the moment the wolf disappears. You guys can plan it so you sleep in till noon. You can do a lot of different things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're waking up at 1 a.m. You
Or how
guys
about
are
go on, you go.
you
Sorry,
guys
I
are
assume you.
relatively sure, like right now, if you went to sleep, you're probably waking up at 1 a.m.
Well, maybe we keep going for a little bit longer then.
Yeah, I agree. I was more just talking about like we should decide what we're doing because like we're like PNR status at least for the night.
What status?
Oh, like point of no return. Like we've gone far enough that we're not going to make it back.
Well, yeah, I didn't think we were making it back.
Faint had
I don't
mentioned
want to
it,
go back.
and I definitely agree. Like, you guys have gone out like 9 hours to get to where you are.
Yeah, so pretty much if we don't turn back now, we're not making it back. So, but I would rather stay out here and keep looking. So yeah, that sounds good to me. Maybe spend a couple more hours, try to make it to like the caravan route, or look for something that looks like a decent shelter for the evening. If we don't find something within a couple hours of when we're ready to rest, build something.
Yeah, I think overall, from like your understanding of the tundras, again, you guys are going to know that the snow is your shelter. So when you're prepared to kind of give in, you're looking to build some sort of either igloo or snow shelter. There's not really anything out here that you're going to like find. You're not assuming, at least, that you're going to find something that's like, and this is our shelter.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean more like we know the wind's coming from the north, so we're gonna look for like a little like snowbank or like rocky outcrop or something that would potentially let us build our shelter around it. Like situation like that. It's like when you go camping, you don't just like stop at a random place. You look for a spot that's like kind of nice.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as things like that goes, you guys are about to leave one of those instances where you're basically on that southwestern corner of one of these hills where the ground goes up to the north and east of you, which is generally against the wind. And the next place that you would look at that kind of does a pretty similar thing is to approach one of those hills in a pretty similar fashion off on the western side of the caravan route, or simply just finding a spot like off the edge of the caravan route. It'll offer some natural protection, but you probably have to build up a little bit more. But there's more snow that's like picked up against that caravan route because of how it lifts up. It like naturally deposits larger snow drifts there. So if you all are continuing on towards the west and towards the caravan route,
I think so.
are you two still feeling unsafe about where you are? Because otherwise, we'll just go back to Kansas doing a survival.
Well, we know one wolf got away, so there's still wolves around. So I'd say, I mean, I don't know what you think, Ezekiel, but I'd say there's still a threat around. We also know that there's could potentially be a giant of some kind nearby.
Yeah, I think we'd probably definitely be like not an immediate threat range, but definitely like eyes out, not just like face down following Kansas.
So let's get a round of those rolls. Nature or survival, rather, from Kansas, and the perceptions from the other two.
I'm feeling very survival.
4 eyes in the back of my head.
Yep, this here is snow.
Yeah, so I think as you all approach the caravan route, you'll be able to pick up signs of the winter wolves, the large wolves, um, in that their paw print is almost twice the size of those that you all recently battled. And I think it's just kind of one of those things where it's maybe a little bit more that you're seeing the claw marks kind of cutting through the ice of the actual caravan. Where that raised portion is, you see like signs of the 5 claws kind of digging into the ice, almost like a foot, like 27 inches between, or 27 centimeters between two of the claw marks. And you see like this massive size of this creature clawed through the ice. And that you all are on at least somewhat the right track to head uh, in that direction west of the caravan route. It seems to be coming maybe a little bit higher above you, almost as if you guys had let your DM naturally guide you directly towards the place it would have worked. But the path that you see these
Almost.
claws seems to cross like almost in a little bit more of like a northwesterly position across the caravan route. But you all can continue on for the next hour there. Do another roll, please.
Oh, keep getting better.
Oh, things are not looking so good.
Hey, just know that you've reached maximum velocity, Josh. It's only downhill from here.
Oh yeah, that's my 2 good rolls for the next 2 weeks.
The thing is, though, like where we are, how do I tell the difference, practically speaking, between a bad roll and a good roll? We're still out in the cold and there's snow.
Oh yeah, you guys are definitely still walking. You're still following tracks. Faint is quite quick to point out as he's following the tracks of the winter wolf, and you guys are doing a great job following them. A solid hour later, as it's getting late in the night, and you're starting to see the first signs of the moon rising, you're going to notice that you are walking over the same trail that seems to be a human who weighs like 250 pounds or so, an elf who weighs about 180 pounds,
Oh,
and
no.
a small halfling who probably weighs about 60 pounds. And they seem to have a wolf who is following them, who's tracking them. And you realize that you've walked in circles. But you also have the track of the winter wolves. They just seem to have gone in a circle in this area as well.
It must be like one of those North Pole type things with a magnetic turning and stuff.
So when you are ready, roll another round.
You were right.
I mean, you got a nat 20, so it literally doesn't get any better. So
So you all are able to follow the winter wolf tracks and move back along like a side route, basically realizing that the route you had followed on this last go did that big loop on you, and perhaps that they were kind of looping around on somebody on the caravan route. Hopefully, this next route is a little more particular on where they go, but you continue to follow them and feel like you're making solid progress. Let's do another round.
that was like the easiest round of high-low ever. There's like a 95% chance that you both roll between your rolls.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you guys can recognize as well that Kansas's roll is the one that matters. If shit hits the fan, your rolls matter.
Oh yeah. I just meant like she got like the worst roll possible and he got the best roll possible. So no matter what, like she's gonna roll higher and he's gonna roll lower.
And that's a good opportunity to give you guys the actual track of the wolves again. So pushing forward, you all are following this trail of wolves. And um, while you all are kind of moving away from the caravan route, the moon is about 25 or so degrees into the night. There's still snow blowing through. There's definitely heavy, obscured vision, but from time to time, you are able to pick things up as the snow itself kind of opens. And Kansas, while you're tracking these wolf prints through the snow, There's different times where you're kind of like pressing your hand into the snow to kind of feel signs for things that maybe your eyes aren't able to pick up, but you're running pretty close, like head down into the ground. And it's gonna pick up at some point. Kansas and Ezekiel are both going to kind of like perk their heads at about the same moment as you start to feel the earth is like shuddering around you. And it's somewhat rhythmic, just cool, cool, cool. Let me get an intelligence from Kansas and from Ezekiel.
We need to hide. Cover yourselves in snow.
Why?
T-Rex obviously is coming.
Oh, right, right.
There is definitely an extremely massive creature that is walking around this area. It's close to you, and right now, hiding yourselves is probably your best bet not to encounter this creature. And with any luck, you have a pretty solid sense the way it's moving the earth that perhaps that's what you're going for.
I had my ass.
So should I roll like stealth with disadvantage? Should I roll regular stealth? Like, how does that work for like trying to cover myself in snow?
Yeah, if you're just trying to cover yourself in snow, you can definitely just roll a stealth check. In Kansas, are you just standing outside, like hugging your wolf?
Yeah, I feel like that's a safe thing to do.
Hide you fool.
Okay, I'll go hide.
What are you gonna do?
Dig into the snow.
As you dig into the snow, you
Ooh.
recognize the obscene nature of a tiny little creature digging a hole for a gigantic wolf that's standing right next to you.
I have minor illusion. I'm not sure what I can do with it, but seems like I can do something. Well, it only lasts for a minute. Never mind.
Just get rid of the wolf.
How do I get rid of the
Dismiss.
wolf?
You just dismiss.
All right. Goodbye, wolf. That's true. I can always pull it or pull something out again.
So, Kansas, roll a D100 for me. And then let me get everybody to roll a perception at disadvantage.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Snow's in my eye.
You're like ostrich style. You guys just dig a little hole and then stick your heads in it, but your bodies are still sticking out.
If I can't see him, he can't see me.
Right.
Everyone knows that, man. Come on, didn't you go to preschool?
All right. So, as you all kind of hide separated from each other, neither of you has any clue where Faint is because the moment you said that there was any danger, he just disappeared long before anybody else could have any sense of what they were about to do. Shortly after Ezekiel kind of hit himself, Kansas is relatively close to him, but doesn't really know too much about where Ezekiel in particular hid. And Canvas kind of just dug herself a hole. Both of the other people can clearly see that Kansas is like head down in the snow with her ass just sticking up in the air. And the wolf just kind of poofs. As Ezekiel kind of like looks out from his helmet, he's kind of got like a little bit of space where he can kind of see. And as you all spend the next 15 or 20 minutes, Ezekiel, you're just going to see as this gigantic lumbering um, let me get a D4 from you, Ezekiel. This lumbering creature is going to kind of like walk through the area, and while it's walking towards you, you're able to see that there's a large, what is it, 14 feet, I think is about 10 meters. I think that might be wrong. I think it's about 8 meters tall at the shoulders. You're going to see this big furry creature with a long, large trunk, almost as long as its actual back. And it's probably about like 20 feet long or like 12 meters long. Its horns that kind of stick out below each side of like each eye, about like a foot below each eye. It has horns that are roughly about the length of its actual back, about 5 feet or so. And each of them kind of sticks out like 5 feet or like 3 meters. And on top of this creature, there is something riding it like a horse. That creature sits easily twice the height of the creature it's riding. Its head kind of bobbles about 30 or so feet above the ground, or like, I think, again, about like 15 or 20 meters above the ground. And this massive creature is just riding atop this other one with a battle axe in its hand that is um, pretty easily blade to blade, like a double-edged battle axe, is about the height of yourself. It's about 5 or so feet from one blade to the other on this battle axe. And it just slowly is riding by from the west into the east.
All right, I want to particularly be on like the lookout, or I guess listen, for if I hear it speak and can I understand its language. Assuming it's like maybe controlling this beast, like verbally or speaking to it because it's like out lonely and in the middle of nothing. I don't know, just trying to listen.
I don't think in particular you're going to pick up anything like that. It doesn't seem to be giving any sort of commands. It's hard for you to tell. Do you have any like proficiency with like land animals or land vehicles? Something that would like give you riding experience?
No, I don't have any proficiencies and languages. Oh, yeah, no proficiencies.
Yeah, I think at best you would see a little bit of movement from its offhand, that it would be seemingly like controlling this creature with reins. Um, but it's, I don't think with a 13 perception you're necessarily picking that up. Um, but that's kind of the most I think I'll give you with that one.
And am I assuming that the two of them did not notice this creature, but I have at least eyes on Kansas?
Yeah, I mean, Kansas again. Oh man, with Josh's role though, it would make so much more sense if Faint was the ostrich in the sand. But Kansas like mucked
Well,
up
they have the
himself.
same roll, really, because it was disadvantaged. So one's a 4
Oh
and
yeah,
two's
yeah.
a 5.
Yeah, so I don't think either of them is looking in the least bit towards where this creature is. You can kind of see that they're almost acting like it's the boogeyman, where it's like, if my eyes are closed, it can't see me because I can't see it. But I would say on some level, I don't think you even have a recognition of whether they notice or not. Um, like again, I think you did a pretty good job burying yourself in the snow, and it's kind of just that little bit of you're like you've got that advantage of your helmet that you're able to like bury yourself and still have a little peek hole.
All right, I'm just gonna stay like completely silent, no noise, no nothing, and just see if it passes.
Yeah, yeah, it's over that like 15 or 20 minutes that this creature just seems to pass completely by you all, like walking west, and it's basically walking east.
And is it possible to make one more like perception check to see if I hear any kind of verbal commands or anything? Like as it
Again,
kind of rides off?
you don't hear anything. So it eventually passes by you all. You stop feeling the shudders in the earth as it seems to continue on its way. And there's a certain level of where Ezekiel can understand that that was a frost giant, and it was indeed riding on a mammoth, and it has just passed you guys.
So yeah, I guess like after it's clearly like gone, I imagine like earshot is probably not very far in the middle of like the whistling like wind and everything.
Yeah, yeah. Once you stop, you've got more of a sense, um, feeling that thing shaking the earth than your voice would carry in that wind.
Well, I guess we found him, Kansas. Where is Faint? If I like look around, do I see Faint? I guess he's still hidden. Faint, you can come out now.
I mean, you could actively try to find Faint, but once you say his name, I think he would know.
Yeah, sorry, what's going on?
It was the frost giant. He rode atop some giant beast. Oh wait, did we see mammoths earlier on? Like when we still had Elephie?
Yeah, that was a herd of mammoths that crossed between you all at almost at Caer Dineval when you were coming back from Caer Konig.
It was riding atop one of those beasts, the horned furry creatures that stood as rocks in the snow.
Well, we already know we can't even kill a mammoth, so if he's riding on it, we probably can't kill him for sure.
It was quite some time ago, and there were a dozen of those creatures.
True, maybe you're right, but that's how
Anyway,
much trouble we had.
sorry, go ahead.
So if that's how much trouble we had with them back then, one of them would still be difficult on its own. Plus, then also we've got him to deal with. It's up to you, but at least I'll die next to my friends.
You're clearly in his territory. We first the wolves, perhaps they were unrelated, but now we have found him as well. Not sure if he was coming or going or just patrolling the area, but if we are to find respite for the night, we need to be discreet, as I'm sure we'll hear him coming, but we don't want to run into him in the middle of our rest. Do we get like an idea which way he was coming from and which way he was going, and like in relation to the caravan route?
Kansas, do a survival.
Yeah, I can tell exactly. He came from over there. And he had oatmeal for breakfast.
The wolf trail that you're following is kind of in that direction, a little bit more north than it is perhaps going west right now. It seemed to be crossing in kind of like a southeasterly direction.
So it was coming from like kind of the northwest going to the southeast?
I mean, in general, my point is kind of to show that it is not following the same track as the wolves that you all are following. But yeah, it's coming from the northwest, and it is going to the southeast.
We should be extra cautious, but I think we are to face him. We need to face him when we are fresh in the morning.
Yeah, maybe you're right. We'll give it a good go, see what happens. But whereas we've had the short rest, we're still not quite at our best, are we?
No, but our best was pretty good. In my imagination.
Yeah, I mean, we normally do okay. Just summon loads of servants and then we can kill anything. We got pet animals, we've got horn summons, we've got all kinds of things. We'll be good.
Are you all looking to push forward? Are you going to rest here?
I'm thinking rest here, and I'm just gonna have a look over my spells, assuming we do get a long rest, to see what I would be changing up.
Inhospitable northern wilds.
But yeah, I'm thinking rest for the night. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good to me. If we're going to fight him, then we need to be at our best, yeah. And we were already considering a long rest. We just thought we'd push on for a little bit longer. So, yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, we'll walk a little bit farther. Now, we don't have any information that there's any living humanoids out here, right? Not like we're looking for the town.
Nope. As far as you all are aware, there's the 10 towns, and that's it. Outside of that, there's nothing that you should expect to trust.
We're great adventurers, and we can find the 11th town.
For the record, Jamie, like out of character, I definitely think that if we're gonna face this thing, you should use the Orc Stone, like right off the bat.
Right. But I
Maybe
think
see if you
Risk
can get a good animal out
is
the bag as well.
right.
I was going to say, and also try and get a good animal out the bag before the fight because you don't want to be wasting turns in battle to be pulling out rats.
Yeah, I got 3 tries, so see.
Okay, so I have a random question. Is there? I obviously saw the giant and the mammoth, but you described its axe as well. Um, would it be possible for me to like divination locate object on its axe tomorrow to like try to find it?
I believe locate object is within 1,000 feet.
Yeah, that's right.
That's probably the big limiter on it. But you could potentially do that. You saw its axe.
Yeah, it might be a waste though.
So, as you all are preparing to rest, are you putting effort into preparing a spot, or are you going to try to be as stealthy as possible and just like remain where you are and hope that nothing encounters you?
Well, if we know he like just crossed by this area, I think we need to get a little bit away from the area so it's just like out of eye shot, and then like prepare something that looks super discreet. Like prepare a good hiding place. Is that what you guys are thinking?
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So, describe to me what you all have in mind.
Like wherever it just kind of crossed by, maybe just getting like just within like eye shot, so we can kind of see or feel like if it comes back by again. And then also maybe just doing the same type of thing, like digging down a little bit of a like sort of trench, and then like kind of covering ourselves in snow to whatever possible.
What what is the eye shot that you have in mind?
Well, I almost feel like we felt him further away probably than we saw him. So I guess eye shot is probably less important.
Yeah, it's pretty regular in Icewind Dale to not be able to see much more than like 20 feet.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you want to like dig a hole together so the three of you are kind of in the same little spot? Maybe
That probably
like
makes sense.
throw a tarpaulin over it, and then you can throw some snow on top and try to like slither your way underneath that. Or do you want to have like a view, build something up, and have like the same idea where you're kind of under the snow in like a tarpaulin, but able to view out?
Yeah, I mean, again, the view's probably less important. But yeah, I like the idea of just kind of digging a little hole, hanging a tarp over it, and then kind of covering it in snow where we can all kind of be like huddled up in our little mini cave, our snow tent.
So let me get strength checks from all of you. And I'm just going to throw it out there. Kansas, are you summoning another creature to try to have a buddy through the night?
Sure, because it resets at dawn, right?
It does indeed. I think on some level, at some point, you should get used to if you don't have a buddy, you probably want to summon one. The big question is if you want different buddies for different purposes. That's like the only reason not to just summon one. But when you're out in the tundra, you probably want to have a buddy. Yeah, I feel like that's sufficiently high enough to say that you all are able to kind of like burrow yourselves a small hole that you can cover with a tarp, throw some snow on top, and probably without too much difficulty, have somebody kind of like slither back underneath it. So you're more or less in like a pill position. What do they call it? A pill bunker? Pill something.
Pillbox.
A pill box? Is that what you said? Yeah.
Yeah,
To me, the panther is like the creature that is the perfect worst thing for you to roll with one left, because it's good, but it's not great. And there's a lot that's worse than it.
But surely nothing will come and happen to us in the night.
Oh, you say that.
I think there was supposed to be an evil laugh from the GM at that point.
I try not to give away TPPKs.
Yeah, I mean, I think a panther's good. Better than like a small rat or whatever. Mostly, is this a white panther or a black panther? Because a black panther in the snow might be kind of obvious. But it's also always dark, so I don't know.
You're inside of your pillbox. I don't think the bag of tricks knows that it's supposed to be in the Arctic.
It's a really, really cold jungle panther.
So you guys have basically 2 watches that Faint cannot cover, and then Faint's going to cover 4 watches, or rather, each of you are going to cover for 2 hours, and Faint's going to cover for 4 hours. What are y'all thinking?
Yeah, if I do the first 4 and then you two alternate between the last 4. I suppose there needs to be 2 more than that. There's
Yeah, as long as what we need 6 hours, he needs 4. Is that what it is?
Yep.
So yeah, I think if he does the first one, we'll all be rested within 6 hours. So that's ideal.
Well, no, I mean, you still need 8 hours. He just has to meditate for 4 of it. And you guys have to sleep for 6 of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right? So if he goes first, we'll all be done around the same time.
You guys are done around the same time regardless. But yeah, let's get some perceptions from you all here.
You mean like an order of watches or just random perceptions?
For what it's worth, in order of watches, but just start the big old train of perception. First watch is going to go by pretty seamlessly there for you, Faint. You're just kind of relaxing, not necessarily paying too much attention, kind of losing track of things, but there doesn't seem to be anything for you all to worry about. Another roll, please. Gonna have 4 total.
oh, my mistake. Sorry.
Wait, you want 4 perceptions from each of us, or what?
I'm staying
Uh,
awake for 4 hours. So
Yeah, you're gonna kind of like give in a little bit on the next one, and kind of like start to fall into a bit of your meditation, kind of just leaving things off. Eventually, it's going to shock you awake and back to like your full faculties, and you kind of recognize that perhaps the wind is just too calming at present. And more or less, you're going to finish the round of your watch, feeling pretty comfortable that it's time for you to wake up the next person, and that you didn't really miss anything. The night has so far progressed without any issue. Who are you going to wake up, Faint?
let's go for Ezekiel.
So let me get perceptions from you, Ezekiel. Recognizing the danger of the actual giant that you've seen gone by, you keep a very attentive watch. As time goes by, it feels just like an inchworm kind of crawling across. It seems extremely slow, but you keep your attention prepared. You don't let yourself wane in the least bit, and you stay ready and on point. But eventually come to terms that it's probably time to wake up, Kansas.
I will do that.
And Kansas is going to come too, keep a really good first watch, and you guys are going to wake up the next morning with Kansas sleeping.
Wait, what?
You rolled a 7. You're sleeping. But you guys can take a long rest.
I got tired. Sorry about that, but we didn't get attacked, so I guess it was okay.
Yeah, all's well as ends well.
So, as you all prepare yourselves for the next day, what are your plans as you move out of the pillbox?
I don't know if it makes much of a difference. Like, before I go and take my rest, can I re-up our aid? Or does it matter? I know it lasts for 8 hours, so how does that work exactly?
I don't think there's any reason you couldn't cast it during your watch, which you had the third watch. So,
So we would still have like 4 to 6 hours or something like that of aid?
yeah, like you would know, like roughly 6 hours.
Okay, I will do this so that we can maintain our aid for now. And then I think I'm going to just maybe swap out one spell. Yeah, I'm just going to leave them the same.
What thoughts do you all have progressing forward with this day?
Well, I mean, are we confident we know where he's gone and where he is, or
If we like go back over towards like his foot tracks, could we see if Kansas would be able to like potentially track him, and then also maybe like game plan this a little bit?
That's your general thought, though, is look back for his tracks and follow the mammoth?
I mean, that's what I'm mentioning. I don't know about anybody else.
well, I think we're up for the fight, aren't we? So, yeah, we'll do that.
I mean, the other option is try to go the opposite direction that he seemed like he was going and try to like find his house or home or whatever and break in and get whatever we're going after.
Yeah, good point actually. If he was leaving, but yeah, man, tough one, isn't
Let me
it?
get
Tough.
let me get an intelligence from everybody. All right. So again, I was trying to describe you guys are tracking the wolves almost northward, and he was walking southeast. You're probably on 2 different tracks. There's a good chance that that is not the person, at least where the wolves came from.
Okay, so it's a different giant.
There's multiple giants in the world.
Well, I mean, I think regardless if that was him or just a random hobo giant, I think the goal is to get to is to potentially quote unquote help the wolves, but try to like save the people that were kidnapped that might still be there, that the wolves were like telling us about. So now that we know that's probably not the giant, it still kind of just cements the plan further that we stay on track and move away from that giant and try to find like the cave, stick to the plan.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
So when you all are prepared to start moving out, let me get another survival and perceptions from the other two.
And as we get to the point that that aid will run out, I will prepare to recast it again.
Yeah, I feel like all casters have some semblance of a feel for when that's all happening.
So is the panther still there, or do I need a new pet?
You have no pet when you wake up.
All right, so I'm gonna get another pet. This is kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought it'd be something that you get the most use out of. Ooh,
Got that sweet, sweet rat.
Now that's the weasel.
so what D&D thinks a rat's better than a weasel?
I think the weasel is normal, the rat is giant. So it's like a cat-sized rat dragging a piece of
That's
pizza
even
through
worse.
the subway.
Exactly. Now we want that.
Are you sticking with the weasel or are you going to roll again?
I'll stick with the weasel for now. And I mean, as soon as we see something else, I can pull out a different one. But
Or
Ken,
an action?
get rid of that stupid ass weasel and get something useful. Stop playing games. That weasel is useless out here. You can't even get above the snow.
Oh, it's my weasel from
it's
last
gonna
time.
go. It's gonna bite your face.
He will never even get up to me. He's buried in snow. I can't even see him. Where has he gone? I'll kick snow on the weasel.
All right, fine.
Where is he? He's already frozen to death. Get something useful. Come on.
Yeah, about the only
Um,
reason you should be using a weasel is if you roll a 1, a 1, and a 1. And one more time, because this is about to be it. Roll another 1, and then that's a good reason to have a weasel.
I think his name's Sprinkle.
Oh, we got a pig.
Pumba.
Don't get me wrong. In the right circumstance, the weasel could be useful. We could put him down like a small hole and he could go search out and look for us, like a little weasel spy. But now is not the time.
Yeah, we could have like a medium-sized pipe that needed cleaning.
Of course, 100%. Say you drop your ball down a small drain pipe and you cannot get it yourself. You can send in the weasel.
You know, if you need like a piece of cutlery passing to you or something.
What?
All good uses for a weasel, but none of them were now.
So you all can push off into the north, tracking a little bit to the west. In general, oh wait, did you roll a perception for Ezekiel? Was that clouded by a intelligence? Yeah, can I get a perception from Ezekiel as well?
Yeah, my bad.
But y'all follow off, excellent, and kind of move off in this direction, and you start to approach points where you can no longer see the caravan route behind you. You have a pretty solid connection with the trail from the wolves that's probably many days old at this point. And at times, Faint is able to pick up a dome structure that kind of juts out of the earth in an unnatural way with how perfectly smooth it is. You guys can recognize that you are starting to approach what you can expect to be somebody's home, and this is where the wolves' tracks are leading to.
Well, well, well. For everyone who bet that we would get lost in the woods and die in the cold, never finding our destination, you are wrong. But still, maybe partially right. We'll see about the other part.
We've never gotten lost in the tundra before, right?
Of
How would
course,
we know? It all looks the same. It's all snow.
but we're not lost now, and that's all that matters. So how far out is this thing? I'm assuming thing like points it out to us. Like, are we like 5 minutes away or like an hour away still? Well, I guess pretty close if we could see it.
It's like breaking through the snow. You might be within an hour, you might be within 2 hours, but it's still a ways off.
Okay, so still away. I got you. The whole like visibility thing throws me off because sometimes I'm picturing like full on whiteout, and then other times I'm just picturing like the shady, like kind of dimly lit. Can't really see something, but you can see outlines of stuff.
Yeah, that's part of what I mean. Like the snow is kind of breaking that gives you guys like extended vision at times. And what he's able to pick out is that unnaturally perfect curve. Um, but it's an ice structure. It fits into the landscape perfectly fine, but he's noticing that this structure is perfectly round on the top. And that's why I say if the wolves, like their path is leading in that direction, this thing is unnaturally kind of perfect. It doesn't fit in nature, it sticks out. And that's why I say, like, you don't know specifically that's where you're going, but I'm telling you guys, you're within sight of it.
Okay, well, I'm thinking sneaky when we get close, but not quite yet.
Yeah, you guys are still plenty of time away. So let's do another survival for you all. And then perceptions.
We can't find out anything.
Pushing forward in that direction, you guys are kind of pushing directly towards, like, the wind seems to almost be moving, as if your eyes are kind of faced directly into it, and you really struggle over that next hour pushing forward to ever make out that same structure. You feel confident you're still heading in the right direction, but you are just kind of trudging forward, counting on the footsteps being correct, but hoping that you're going in the right direction. And with that, let me get another round of rolls from you.
That's much better. Ezekiel, you're looking in the wrong direction. Turn around.
Sorry, I got turned around. Sorry. Yeah, I see now. I thought I heard something.
You heard the snow. It is still snowing. It is blizzard. Always it is the same.
Thought I heard those rumbling footsteps again. I'm just a little paranoid. I think I burned a little too much incense, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so you all are going to push forward. You start to notice signs of the structure again, but you've kind of gone a little bit in the wrong direction in that past hour, and it's almost a little bit more to the north of you, but you're otherwise still maintaining signs of it. At this point, you are pretty close. You don't really need to track anything any longer. So if you are at the point where you are ready to start to move stealthily, this is where you kind of would do it, where you pretty solidly know that you can move towards it without necessarily losing it, even were it to start blizzarding at this point here. Um, Very few things other than kind of getting into almost like a whirlwind condition where the wind's coming from multiple directions could get you lost at this point. So, in general, you've got it in sight. It's more to the north of you than it was previously. How would you like to progress forward?
I will try to be as stealthy as I can, but my armor makes it difficult. We should try to stay a little bit off from the opening of the cave so that we're not clearly visible to anything looking out. But I'm not sure how well we will hide or how good a visibility it would have in the daytime. But it's worth a try. And do the wolf's footsteps seem like they lead right up to the cave?
Yeah, were you to track them in kind of like the straight line that you're currently kind of following them, they would lead towards the eastern side of the cave.
Okay,
So
yeah.
how many?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how many wolves are there, by the way? Might be a stupid question, but I'm not sure myself.
Wait, what did you say? How many are alive?
How many wolves are there that were following going into the cave?
Roll a wisdom check.
And while you're consulting your wisdom, are you able to discern if these are like fresher, to where like these could potentially be different wolves or potentially be the ones we already killed?
As you pay attention to these marks, you're noticing that there's pretty solid signs that these wolves are walking print in print. They are covering their numbers. And as well, these are probably 5+ day old tracks.
Sneaky wolf.
These could be the tracks of the wolves we already slayed. If you say they are 5 days old, it would line up. Only time will tell. But
And you know what, Kansas, make another survival for me.
Could you dodge my knife?
With feints kind of like push in that direction, thinking over all of the tracks that you've looked at, you're able to recognize like what seems like almost the claw kind of like bouncing off of the snow is probably the fact that it is indeed two wolves walking paw on paw, and that all of these tracks have gotten older as you've gotten closer to this place. The likeliness that you guys are tracking the two wolves that you've killed is high.
Very good. Gentleman and lady. So gentleman and lady, to our deaths.
It's kind of creepy that these wolves can do that.
You guys know that they're intelligent wolves. Why is that creepy?
It's still creepy.
they
They
speak.
speak languages.
Because they got fur on their butt. That's unnatural.
You actually know there's evidence that they wipe their butts with gnome scalps.
Well, I read a thesis about it that yes, that only small humanoid scalps of any kind will do. So, Kansas, watch out.
I do
You
not
guys have
like
still
this.
already killed them.
So yeah, I think stealth it in. Is that what we're thinking?
Yeah, definitely. Even if
let's
it's
get
only to
around a
recon. Yeah.
stealth.
And then also when we get up close to like the mouth of the cave, obviously want to see, does it appear that there's any light, or is it like completely dark in there?
What did you say about recon feint?
Sorry, I was just saying, even if it's only to recon, I'm 100% behind stealthing levels. And then what did you say, Zeke?
Just wanted to see like if there was any kind of light coming from the cave, like a potential fire, or if there was like holes in the ceiling where light shining in, or if it's like straight up pitch black.
Roll another d20 for me, Kansas. Let me get a perception from you, Ezekiel. And then let's have you all place yourselves in the southeastern corner of this map.
Whatever I was potentially going to perceive, my helmet blocked my vision or hearing or whatever it was.
Your
Oh,
domal
look how
vision.
small you are. It's just a baby.
Is this another one of your moon maps?
It's just a baby.
Wait,
It a baby.
this map, is it like basically nothing?
Just a baby.
Oh, it's all black but the bottom right. Kansas, perhaps you should send in your weasel to scout out the head. This is the perfect time. I'm glad you have it.
I don't have the weasel. I have the war pig.
Oh, it will probably never be relevant again. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I definitely think the weasel was better than the hog.
She's like, I wanted the weasel.
I don't think the hog's good. I don't think the weasel's good either, but at least the weasel can be like a stealthy, send it in and find stuff out. But that's, I think, what the like risk of that magical item is.
Hey, it's better than if nothing came out. It's pretty cool. Look, the boar charges at and it goes at least 20 feet straight toward a target and hits
While you're
it.
reading about it, can you place the boar as well?
Okay, fine.
That is actually a really good item, and that was awesome of you, Josh, to give it to Paris, Kansas, Kentucky, whatever your name is.
Counter.
So while you all are approaching this structure here, you see the structure is off to the northwest of you all, probably about it's like kind of like within vision, about 60 or so feet off to the northwest of you all, and you're starting to approach this structure, and that's where we're going to end things.